Okay, so I have never done a video like this, and so this will be the first time, and I may go in a little bit of circles. It's just more of me ranting, because I have lost sleep over how I have felt, and I don't like that, and that's not good for me, my family, my mental health, any of those things. And if someone's made you feel that way, I don't think you should be able to keep it in, which I'm sure after I post this video, or if someone sees it, I don't know, I may not even post it. This may just be for my own personal reference, and I may not post it to Facebook. But a few weeks ago, I shared something, and let me get this straight. I've actually seen, I'm not against if shrooms are used for medical use or whatever, or like pot, whatever. I totally get that. It's when it's hypocritical and it is done, and I was saying it in a way because it's not for any benefit but just to get jacked up and got people jacked up. So it's funny because my ex-employer, and that's what I put it was about, he's doing a mindset and goals today with this women's group, and that's actually even got me even thinking that this is the day I would do it, because I was reading some of their stuff last night, and their page is actually very inspirational. They seem like they're on the right path. It's just sad that one has weaseled their way into thinking that that they should be partnered up with him, because one, like it is. So this is what happened when I first started working for Jay Ferg. The first party out of the house, so that he was supplied with shrooms to a few employees and himself, and I'm saying this I honestly don't care if he does your drugs. Do what you want to do. But months down the road, someone accused me and another employee of doing drugs, and it's funny because he's sitting across from me. And I'm like, well, if you think I'm doing drugs, why not just drug test me? Why not bring me into the office? It's actually at a dinner, and so that, and there's children there, and so that, and it's just and I'm I'm not understanding why he thinks that I do drugs and stuff like that. But he's looking at the other employee, and he's like, well, I've done cocaine with you. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's some information I didn't know, or maybe I did know and just didn't care. I don't know. It's not. I mean, I've heard multiple stories about my ex-employer buying strippers and bringing to the room, and drugs and alcohol and all those things. And it's funny because some people are going to be like, Jen, I cannot believe you shared the information. I'm sorry. Everyone talks about it. They just usually talk about it one-on-one or in little groups and all that stuff. And people are like, why are you posting this now? Or why are you saying this now? Because in his mindset and goals thing that he's doing today, he says, do what you're going to do, and you should. And so and we all fall short of that. I'm not that. It's just funny. I'm very upset and hurt by the hypocriticalness, and it is his hometown boy and stuff and he has family from here, amazing, and stuff like that. And that is why people still deal with him. People don't actually like him, and now I understand why. Completely. I was hired as a field inspector, and this is me being petty and sad and mad and venting out my feelings. So if this offends somebody and they're gonna be like, oh, Jennifer, you shouldn't have shared that, well, you know what, the same people feel I shouldn't have shared it. You can literally go see him too and be like, treat your neighbor as yourself. Treat him how you want to be treated, because I worked for free, technically, I guess, or actually that's exactly what I pretty much want to say. I was hired as a field inspector. I got a salary. They decided to let us go. And then, so when we spoke to project managers, we were supposed to sign this form. I believe it's probably something like, hey, you're going to be I think it's a 1099 employee. That's the one where you do your money. Anyways, never signed anything, got my contracts and stuff like that. Well, the day I get fired, my boyfriend and I, we both worked for Jay Ferg, and we have had problems, issues, and stuff like that. But we're honest with them, we work on them, we move forward with them. That's one thing I can tell you is if anyone ever asks questions about our relationship or things that we've been through, I'm more than happy to help someone else out, because no relationship is perfect, not a intimate one, a working one, a friendship. They're all very hard. Depends on which people you want to invest in, and obviously you don't want to invest in me. That is fine. So I'm like, okay, well, can I just know when I get my contracts paid out? And let me tell you, the day they fired me I have 0 write-ups. He has never told me I am a bad employee. I have never heard that I have done something wrong. I did not make it to a Lubbock meeting, and I told the vice president this, because my boyfriend at the time, I was working with JFrog, goes up there. He says his piece. Well, they fire me and keep him. We are fighting, which is not good for the company. I totally understand that. Like, I'm telling on myself, I have zero to hide. Like, I also fall short. And don't always make the best decisions and stuff like that. It's just more, I think I'm just not hypocritical. That's what it bothers me. And it is. And so he took my contracts. I won't give me my paperwork either, my new hire paperwork. And I messaged, I was like, hey, like I'm supposed to be paid on these contracts, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes off. I'm like, just pretty much telling he's not going to pay me. So this is what gets me. And it's probably more of a public service announcement, all public service announcement also, because if you decide to go work for JFrog, firing us one at a time and taking your money and all that stuff that you worked for doesn't look so bad. But what he's ultimately saying is, I can hire, let's say 10 people this week. Y'all all go get me each 10 contracts. Okay, in a few weeks, they still haven't been paid out. Well, I can't, I don't want to have y'all anymore. He can fire you. And then he can say, well, did you manage or do this? Which is funny because when I switched over to part of it, they were like, just do this part, which is just if you need to call us, you're like, we'll do the paperwork for you in the car and just send it right back to you. You can just go inside and do it. The sheer fact is actually it's more hurtful. I think I messaged JR and was like, hey, I worked real hard for these contracts. I did it all myself. I have used my own money. I have done other things. I've sold my other car and stuff like that because I believe I do well in the field and stuff like that. And I believe well, okay, here, when everything's paid out, I'll get paid. No big deal. And he was like, yeah, well, you paid for, what we owe you and stuff like that. And so I get a follow-up email and my stuff's turned to green and this one hasn't been paid. This one's been paid. And I'm still helping at this point. With customers stuff like that. And it is, so I'm going around a circle because what hurt my feelings is I told them, I was like, hey, my boyfriend throw my phone into somewhere. I don't know. I can't find it. But I do have his phone. It's here if he wants to get it, or I can bring it to the office. Whichever. And the even more interesting part is they keep him. And so that we end up having a domestic case later down. They keep him. The only repercussion he gets is 1 week of unpaid leave. But a few years ago, another friend of mine worked for the same company and they fired him over the same problems. So it's just interesting how he wants to pick and choose what he will decide he wants to deal with, not deal with. And it's more likely because my boyfriend literally was there with him when he was buying strippers for him and other employees and stuff like that while he has a wife and kids at home, bringing them up to the room, dropping his drawers down and asking his office, or from what I understand, the office employees, who wants to have me? He literally rides the back coats of his family, because his family is very nice, very good people. So I think that's why people still deal with him, probably more for just sheer fact of what a good name, and the good things that his family does. At this point now, I've actually not heard anyone say anything good about him. And, he was wondering why no one would show up to his, he'd have these get-togethers for the company, try to get together, because no one actually likes him. I've now come to realize that, they want to collect their money and they want to go home. They don't want to engage, and it's interesting enough, it's just how it loves to hear himself talk. It's funny because I have had issues. I have not had the easiest time, and he hasn't either. And when I first heard stuff, I was so just heart-wrenched, and I was like, oh my gosh, you have a lot. But ultimately, he's just a crybaby. That's what I've realized. Likes to hear himself talk, self-centered, narcissistical. That's what it pretty much seems to be. And that's my opinion. And someone is going to be like, that is mean, and I can't believe you said that. Well, you know what? I did. And I feel better about it. And as I'm saying it, it is. I probably might feel bad at some point saying that. But it is. I actually don't. And whatever he wants to say about me, by all means, you go ahead. Because your truth is your truth also. And I just spoke a little bit of it, and I feel so much better. I've got 1,000 more things to say on things I know and things that have happened, and I think I'm good. So I hope that your company still does okay because you have a family to support and those people have done a really good job that you don't listen to and that you don't take their input in because, I mean, this is just Jay Ferg. I mean, because it's all about you. But if you take a look around while you don't have friends, I think you'll start understanding why. And if you realize how important the people are you have around you that are left, yeah. And I gotta do the same. You know what? I do. But yeah, I feel a whole lot better. And it is. Bring out all your stuff if you want to say something because it just usually takes a hissy fit, goes to group me and posts something super inappropriate or takes it to Facebook and everyone's just this big old conspiracy theory. The only conspiracy I can say actually is going right now is that people just say you're on meth. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for being a dick and treating me like crap. And yeah, and it is. I'm being a crybaby right now. I am. Because I'm also hurt. So I do feel better. Good luck. And if this helps anyone else, great. If this makes everyone hate me, well, good for you too. I don't know what to say, but don't get treated like crap and don't let your employees treat you like crap. And also, yes, I've asked 3 times for my new hire paperwork. I would still like that if you happen to run across this.